What's up, guys? Here again today to talk with you about part 2 of this dairy series. Does dairy actually make your bones stronger? The common belief is because there's so much calcium in dairy that this is why dairy will make your bones stronger. Well, is it true? Is it not true? Let's look at some research. There's a meta-analysis, which just simply means that a bunch of studies were reviewed. This one, for instance, there was 59 clinically randomized controlled trial studies that were reviewed, and this is what the author had to conclude. Increasing calcium intake from dietary sources or by taking calcium supplements produces small, non-progressive increases in BMD, which are unlikely to lead to a clinically significant reduction in risk of fracture. Not looking good for calcium or dairy at the moment. Another meta-analysis of 50 cohort and randomized controlled trial studies revealed that dietary calcium intake is not associated with risk of fracture, and there's no clinical trial evidence that increasing calcium intake from dietary sources prevents fractures. Evidence that calcium supplements prevent fractures is weak and inconsistent. Over 100 studies. The conclusion is there really is no link to high intakes of calcium, be it through dairy, be it through supplementation, that this leads to stronger bones. Right? The World Health Organization recommends 500 milligrams of calcium. That's about twice as much as the absolute minimum, which is roughly between around 250 to 300 milligrams of calcium. So 500 milligrams is definitely safe. The United States recommends 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams, and that is what they're pushing. That is what they're trying to get elderly people to take. That is why so many people are taking supplements, but it's obviously not doing anything because the rates of osteoporosis and hip fractures continue to increase year after year. Obviously, there's something else going on. And let's take a look at that something else. Factor number 1, in my opinion, is stress. Chronic stress wreaks havoc on your body, and it also wreaks havoc on your bone health. So when we're under chronic stress, we have high levels of cortisol, and cortisol actually inhibits osteoblasts. So there's osteoblast cells that create bone, and there's osteoclasts that destroy bone. And your bones are always in this constant, or should be in this constant balance of destroying and rebuilding, destroying and rebuilding, destroying and rebuilding. But what happens if our osteoclasts are performing at a higher rate than our osteoblasts, which produce bone? It's going to lead to a weakening of our bones. Stress is influential in this. Also, stress reduces thyroid function and thyroid hormones. There's various hormones that are needed to produce or that regulate the metabolism or the growth of bones. Thyroid hormones are one of them. Parathyroid hormones is another one. Some growth hormones influence bone growth, and also estrogen and testosterone. So maybe you have a hormonal imbalance that is influencing your bone health. So we got stress, we have hormonal imbalance. There's also just the most influential one, and research has proved this over and over again. Physical exercise, especially weight-bearing exercise, is critical for healthy bones. So many people have adopted a sedentary lifestyle. We just don't work like we used to. We don't use our body like we used to, and it is affecting our bone health. You need to exercise, people. You need to move that beautiful body of yours, and as a result, your bones will get stronger. Another factor influencing bone health is just poor diet in general, lacking other vitamins and minerals needed in the metabolism of bone. We need vitamin D. There's also vitamin K that's involved. A huge component of our bones is phosphorus, so we need phosphorus. There's other minerals like boron and copper and silica. All of these are found in our bones and obviously needed then in bone growth. So a diet devoid of these other vitamins and minerals can also influence the health of your bones. There are also various medications that affect bone health. Steroid medications will weaken your bones. Certain thyroid medications, again, because we're messing with the thyroid hormones, which influence bone growth or needed for bone growth. If we're messing with those, they tend to weaken, or a side effect is weaker bones. Another factor that could influence the health of your bones is cola drinks, like Coca-Cola or Pepsi. It's not entirely for sure why there is a link between these certain soft drinks and weakened bone. Some believe that it's the phosphoric acid in Coca-Cola or Pepsi, so the body needs to neutralize this acid, and it does so by extracting calcium from the bones, which is alkaline, to then help neutralize the acid, this phosphoric acid in the cola drinks. And lastly, a very important factor is, are we absorbing and assimilating the calcium and other vitamins and minerals needed to build strong bones? Inflammation in the bowels, low levels of hydrochloric acid in the stomach, certain diseases like Crohn's disease or lupus, all of these affect the body's ability to digest and absorb and assimilate vitamins and minerals that are found in our food. So, to wrap things up, it's not just about calcium. In fact, that might be the least thing that you need to be worried about. If you are worried about building strong bones, if you're suffering from osteoporosis, maybe you can look at other factors such as stress, certain medications that you might be taking, exercise, your digestion, how is that doing? Lowering your intake of Coke or Pepsi, these soft drinks with phosphoric acid in them, and balancing out your hormones. Anyway, love being here with you guys today. It was exciting to bust the myth that dairy leads to stronger bones. You can now look at those posters with the milk mustache that says milk does a body good, milk builds stronger bones, and say hogwash. That is not true. So if you decide to continue to consume dairy products, cool, no big deal. Just don't lie to yourself that you're helping your bones, because you're not. Alright, that's it for today. Part 3 of the Dangers of Dairy series. We're going to look at dairy and IGF-1 levels. IGF-1 is insulin-like growth factor 1. It's a growth hormone, and this growth hormone can seriously impact your health. So that's what we'll be looking at in the next video. Stay tuned for that, and until then, stay away from dairy.